ABI ready for launch. FTS. FTS, go. Props, go. ABI.
ABI's go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening. Welcome to the NROL-57 launch webcast. The Falcon 9 rocket carrying tonight's payload is live on your screen and currently awaiting liftoff from Space Launch Complex 4 East, or SLIC 4E, at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California, just about 8.5 minutes from now. Hi everyone, my name is Ronnie Foreman and I am a Senior Sales Manager here at SpaceX. Tonight's mission carries a national security payload designed, built, and operated by the National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO. This mission continues the NRO's cutting-edge capability of building and developing the U.S. government's largest satellite constellation in history, designed to deliver critical information that can only be obtained from the vantage point of space. Both the range and vehicle are currently green, and we are on track for an on-time liftoff today at 11:49 p.m. Pacific. As a note, we will not be showing any Stage 2 or payload deployment views at the request of our customer this evening, but there is still a lot to cover for tonight's launch. So for now, let's meet our Falcon 9 rocket.
Hello everyone, my name is Amanda Yers and I'm a ground systems engineer here at SpaceX. This coming Monday is the anniversary of SpaceX's first launch ever, Falcon 1 Flight 1, which lifted off from Amalek Island on March 24th, 2006. While it did not complete its mission, SpaceX has come a long way since then. Falcon 1 made its final flight in 2009 before it was retired, but it paved the way for our trusty Falcon 9 rocket, which has completed 447 missions to date. Falcon 9, which you can see on your screen, is a two-stage rocket developed and manufactured by SpaceX and known for its safe, reliable, and cost-effective access to space. It is also the first orbital-class rocket capable of reflight.
Engine chill has started.
Good call out there for engine chill. Now, this first stage booster is performing its fourth flight supporting this mission. Together, Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy have completed more than 450 launches and over 380 reflights. Today, this first stage booster will be attempting to return to Earth and land at Landing Zone 4 at Vandenberg Space Force Base. Rapid reusability of this kind drastically reduces launch costs, helps increase launch frequency, and enables a wide array of new government, commercial, and scientific opportunities in space. Lowering the cost of access to space is helping us take...
Stage 1 RP1 load is complete.
Good call out there for Stage 1 RP1 load. Lowering this cost of access to space is a major part in taking humanity's next steps into the solar system, whether low Earth orbit, geosynchronous orbit, interplanetary, or even deep space. Now, when costs are lower, government and commercial customers can launch more missions, which helps accelerate development. This also helps commercial satellite and private research customers afford to launch more projects to space, which helps stimulate innovation in turn here on Earth. Missions like SpaceX's Transporter and Bandwagon rideshare programs help make access to space even more affordable by sharing the cost of a single launch across many customers. So all of this is to say, reusability is the key innovation that is making space more accessible for the industry as a whole. Now back to tonight's mission. Both the weather and vehicle continue to look good for an on-time liftoff. Let's talk about what to expect in the lead-up.
Coming up shortly, the Transporter Erector, or the TE, will retract away from the Falcon rocket. The TE is the large truss structure that you see just to the right of Falcon 9 on your screen. The first stage is connected to a launch mount at the base of the TE, but the TE is hinged and will retract about 2 degrees.
By pressing for strong back retract.
There's confirmation from Mission Control that we're pressurizing the tanks on Falcon 9 in preparation for that retraction we were just talking about. Now again, the TE is going to pull away just about 2 degrees away from Falcon 9 in preparation for liftoff, and that will begin by opening up the clamp arms around the base of the fairing. So hopefully we'll have a view of that for you in just a couple of seconds. You may also hear the TE referred to as the strongback by our Mission Control team, and it does a lot of heavy lifting in the lead up to launch. The strongback is designed to transport, raise, and support Falcon 9 with the launch pad. There's confirmation that lowering has started, and we're getting a great view of those clamp arms opening up on your screen there. Falcon 9's payload fairing is about 17 feet in diameter, so just for a quick frame of reference, the fairing on your screen would house roughly an average-sized fire truck. The TE is equipped with umbilicals, or flexible lines, that are used to route the vehicle's fluids, power, and telemetry from the ground systems to the rocket and payload, until Falcon 9 switches to internal power and clears the launch pad. You can see the TE pulling away from Falcon there, and just at liftoff, we'll see it move back to a full 45-degree retraction to clear the way for Falcon 9's ascent. At this point in the countdown, both the first and second stages are nearly fully loaded with 1 million pounds of rocket-grade kerosene fuel and liquid oxygen. The first and second stages should finish propellant loading about a minute apart from each other. We're expecting the call-out for first stage completion at the T-minus 3-minute mark, and the second stage call-out should be at T-minus 2 minutes. As you may have noticed, there are white clouds forming around the vehicle on our launch pad right now. Those clouds are comprised of chilled gas from above the surface of the liquid oxygen tank that is vented overboard to maintain pressure in the tanks as needed. When that vented oxygen mixes with the warmer California coastal air, it condenses into clouds.
Stage 1 LOX load complete.
There's confirmation of Stage 1 liquid oxygen loading completion. Next up, we are standing by for the same call-out on board Stage 2. Then at T-minus 60 seconds, Falcon 9 will be in startup. This means that the rocket's autonomous internal flight computers will take over the launch countdown. Then just inside of T-minus 2 seconds, we will light the M1D engines for liftoff. At this time, the payload continues to be healthy, and the Falcon 9 team is tracking no issues on the rocket. Weather is still green, and the range is ready to support our T0 of 11:49 p.m. Pacific time. And with that great view, we are proceeding into the last few minutes of terminal count.
Now, as our next major milestone, we're listening in for the call-out of second stage LOX loading completion. There you see a great view of those white clouds.
Stage 2 LOX load complete.
Great confirmation of Stage 2 LOX loading completion. So the first and second stages are now fully loaded with over 1
Ground
million.
gas closeouts.
Confirmation of gas closeouts beginning, and you may begin to see a noticeable increase in white cloud formation near the vehicle. This is the result of a nominal ground side process where the TE liquid oxygen feed line is vented down ahead of liftoff. If you listen closely, you can actually hear the sound of that large line venting down on the launch pad. Standing by now for confirmation of Falcon 9 in startup at T-minus 1 minute.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
At this point, the autonomous flight computers will take over the launch countdown, and stages 1 and 2 will pressurize for launch. Finally, we are awaiting the final go directive from the launch director.
Launch director is go for launch.
There you have it. At T-minus 36 seconds, all systems are go for launch of Falcon 9. So let's sit back and listen in to the final countdown.
30 seconds. T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9. Go SpaceX, go NROL-57.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
N1D chamber pressure is nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds and counting, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Slick 4E at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. In case you're just joining us, these awesome ascent views are of the NROL-57 mission for the National Reconnaissance Office. And we had an on-time liftoff tonight at 11:49 p.m. and are getting good news from Mission Control that power and telemetry are looking good on board the vehicle.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
And the Falcon 9 is now moving faster than the speed of sound. Coming up next, the vehicle will be passing through Max Q, which is the point in the mission profile.
Max Q.
Right on schedule. The vehicle has experienced the greatest amount of aerodynamic pressure that it will see on ascent. Now coming up next, we'll have several events happening in quick succession, starting with main engine cutoff, followed by stage separation, second engine start 1, and then our boost back burn. Main engine cutoff, or MECO for short, is where all 9 Merlin 1D engines shut down to slow the vehicle down in preparation for stage sep, when the first
chill has started
and second stages will separate from each other. We also heard that call out from Mission Control that we're chilling our second stage engine in preparation for startup. The MVAC engine on the second stage will light for the first time during second engine start 1, which we'll hear called out as SES1. This engine burn will last for several minutes and propel the second stage and the payload to their intended orbit. Our boost back burn will assist the first stage in returning to its recovery location at Landing Zone 4, also at Vandenberg Space Force Base. In addition to these major events, the fairing halves will separate about 30 seconds after SES1. So keep an eye out for all of those events coming up here in just a couple of seconds. But as a reminder, we won't have...
Main engine cutoff.
Stage separation confirmed.
Stage 1 boost back startup.
We've had confirmation now of MECO, stage separation, and boost back burn startup, and are getting incredible views from our tracking camera right now. Now, as a reminder, we're not showing any views of the Falcon 9 second stage or payload today at the request of our customer. We are, however, standing by for that call out for fairing deployment.
Fairing separation confirmed.
Right on schedule. Both payload fairing halves supporting today's mission are flight proven. One half is flying for its 17th time and the other for its 4th. We will, of course, be attempting to retrieve these fairing halves again today once they fall back to Earth with our recovery vessel Go Beyond.
Stage 1 boost back shutdown.
And we have confirmation of boost back burn shutdown.
We are currently at T plus 3 minutes and 30 seconds into tonight's mission following a successful liftoff from Vandenberg
Both vehicles
Space.
are following nominal trajectories.
Good call out for trajectories. Our nominal liftoff time today was 11:49 p.m. Pacific time. And coming up in just a few minutes will be the entry burn of the Falcon 9 booster as it continues on its journey towards Landing Zone 4. This entry burn is the second of 3 burns that Falcon 9 will complete in its descent. Now, as a reminder, tonight's mission is a return to launch site recovery, which involves landing the first stage back at Vandenberg Space Force Base at Landing Zone 4, which is just a short distance from Space Launch Complex 4 East. Now, to start the entry burn, we will relight 3 of the 9 Merlin M1D engines, which is similar to pumping the brakes to slow the vehicle down as it passes back into the Earth's atmosphere. We need to slow the vehicle down to reduce re-entry forces, which then helps us recover and reuse the first stage. During this entry burn, Falcon 9 is decelerating by firing its Merlin engines, but it's still moving really fast. This causes the vehicle to fly through Merlin's exhaust gases, also known as the rocket's plume, which deposits a layer of soot on the vehicle's surface. That soot comes from the carbon-based fuel that Falcon 9 uses, and with each flight, that soot builds up a little more on the outside of the vehicle. Now, it's this layer of soot that gives Falcon 9 its flight-proven look. Reusability of this kind is key to lowering the cost of spaceflight, which enables more investments in critical space infrastructure. The Falcon 9 first stage, supporting today's mission, is performing this entry burn for the 4th time tonight. The payload fairings, as we mentioned, are also flight-proven, with one half flying for its 17th time and the other for its 4th time. We should be hearing the call out shortly for entry burn in just about 15 seconds. Now, as a reminder, we will not be sharing any views of our second stage this evening at the request of our customer, and we are currently awaiting views of that first stage on its descent.
Stage 1, entry burn startup.
Good confirmation there of entry burn startup. Now, this is, again, a short burn, and it is designed to slow the vehicle down in preparation for its final landing burn.
Stage 1, entry burn shutdown.
Now, coming up next will be that first stage landing burn.
Trajectory nominal.
And on the way down, Falcon 9 is not only using the M1D engines, but also its 4 titanium grid fins at the top of the booster for stability and guidance.
Stage 1, FTS is saved.
Good call out there for FTS safe. Now, the Merlin M1D engines we've seen firing on that first stage are optimized for sea level performance, and
Stage
they
1, transonic.
each achieve 190,000 pounds of thrust during ascent and descent. So to put that in perspective, Falcon 9 has a combined total thrust of more than 5 747 airplanes at full power.
Stage 1, landing burn.
Confirmation of landing burn startup. We are now waiting for Falcon 9 to land at landing zone 4. Again here, some absolutely stunning views. Keep an eye out for landing leg deployment just prior to touching down at landing zone 4. This is the final
Stage 1,
burn.
landing leg deploy. Stage 1, landing confirmed.
And there you heard the call out for a successful landing of our Falcon 9 rocket.
Stage 2 has entered terminal guidance.
This was the 4th launch and landing for this first stage booster.
As we've mentioned a few times, we won't be showing any Stage 2 or deployment views at the request of our customer today. So with that picture-perfect landing of the Falcon 9 booster, we'll be bringing our webcast to a close. We'd like to thank the NRO for entrusting us with today's mission, and we'd also like to thank the Range and Federal Aviation Administration for their support.
If you're interested in more launch coverage, be sure to check out spacex.com/launches and follow @SpaceX on X for the most up-to-date